go live on Facebook.
We gotta go to that way a little bit.
Oh, I gotta turn
This has to go?
Yeah, just turn the camera. Yep. Other way.
Oh, can I do that?
Just pick it up and spin. Spin me.
Perfect.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Are we live?
I want to see
We are live on Facebook in just a minute.
just the right amount of file cabinet.
Just the right amount. All right, now I think we're live. So, good morning. It's Friday, April 9th. Not April. I was just thinking about my wife.
I
was
know.
thinking about my wife.
Aw.
He said April earlier. No,
That's
it's
really amazing.
it's September 9th.
That made me
And
think of my wife.
did it really?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Pam.
Well, this is UnEducated. For those of you that know, we don't use big words. We just like to talk about things that we have absolutely no idea or any information about, right?
No, we just like to speculate and conjecture.
Yeah. But actually, uneducated comes from the book of Acts when the apostles were taken before the courts and they said, hey, those guys are pretty stupid. But yet they've been hanging out with Jesus. So I guess we should probably take some note.
Right.
So anyway, we're discussing some things today, and we have a special guest with us. He's been here before. This is Mitch.
Hi.
He's with us today.
Official time, and now we start over.
Yeah, and we're going to start over. So
Good to meet you.
Nice.
But today we have a few things that we kind of want to discuss. But Matt, do you have anything before we jump in?
Am I supposed to apologize for something?
Oh yeah. What did you say? Did you say something last week that you should apologize for?
No, I'm thinking. I don't know. No, I've got nothing thrown this week. I really work on I interrupt. I'm an interrupter. So you kind of go and then I jump in the middle.
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to we talked a little bit about Dorian, right?
We did.
name.
Yeah, that's past tense now. I mean, well, it's hitting North Carolina, but
Yeah, there's some flooding and 7 deaths so far in the Carolinas.
The hurricane.
No, in Bahamas.
No, there's 7 deaths in South Carolina or North Carolina.
What were they holding their nose and they?
Well, no, I think it's from the flooding and the tornadoes that were spawned.
Oh, the tornadoes. Yeah, you can't run from a tornado.
So now let me ask this question: when these kind of things happen and they say, "Oh, let's all be praying for these people," do you guys actually pray for them?
Not really.
No. Sadly.
This is not good. Do you think anybody really prays for them?
I like if an ambulance goes by. Sometimes I'm like, dear Lord, I hope that works out okay over there.
Yeah,
that is
I
going
do that
on.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, North Carolina, they're far removed.
South Carolina, even.
South Carolina, we have family there.
They're in the mountains.
Close family or family you don't really care
My
about?
uncle,
Oh, okay.
They're in the mountains.
they're in the mountains,
Gotcha.
That's where everybody ran to.
right? Then they wish that they could pull them on their heads. No, I don't know. I think that we should pray for them. I think, that's tragic, but you live there. Like, come on. You're living by the ocean where we have hurricanes. Where would we?
No, I hear you.
If you're in the Bahamas, most of the time you're drinking rum and celebrating, listening to steel drums. Every once in a while a hurricane comes. That's your problem.
Well, this will lead to a question I have anyway.
Okay.
Ask the question.
Ask
Let's do
away.
it.
So if we're truly if we're praying for something, so like when we say pray for this person, pray for that person, pray for this, is it good if we just go and I hope that that's okay, or do you have to have a long? Because literally with all the things you got to pray for in a day, I pretty much wouldn't get anything else done.
Oh, so do you really have to bear down on it
Yeah.
and say a lot of words?
Right.
Or can you be like, Lord, Father, you know what's wrong with that situation. Why don't you zap it okay?
Right.
And then be done?
Right.
That's my kind of praying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the Lord's the one who knows about the situation anyway.
Well,
Right.
that's where I don't know.
Are we just getting wrapped up in drama? Which is where I was going with my hurricane comments.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody really cares. Like, removed from that situation,
Right.
I don't know how you really can care, but you get a lot of Facebook, the tragedy,
Right.
And people like to jump on and commiserate in hysteria, I guess, right?
Right.
Because I'm not there, and I have my life here. Now, I would like to think that I mean, we live in Northeast Ohio. Nothing really bad happens here.
No, never.
It's true. It
It's
is.
just-
It is one of the best places to live.
It is.
as far
You're
as
not going to
natural
get eaten
disasters.
by
I
a
was gonna
bear.
go. It's just always bad here.
Well, it's because it's bland.
Yeah.
It's bland.
Yeah. Right.
But we're not like we're not going to get eaten by bears.
Right.
So we don't have to worry about predators. I mean, you got the occasional tornado,
Mhm.
but I mean, those are just wacky occurrences.
Yeah.
We don't have earthquakes. We don't have volcanoes. It's fairly temperate here.
Uh-huh.
So, like, in the winter, that's why fat guys wear shorts around here in the winter.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to die. You're going to walk 30 feet and stumble on a house.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is if something bad happened here, I would like to think that people would be praying for me. But at the same time, I wouldn't hold them to it.
Right.
Or I wouldn't, this is my problem now.
Right. Right. No, I get it. And I think what Mitch was trying to say too just lends to the idea that when we pray, see, there's this thing about prayer. And by the way, this Sunday in Luke chapter 11, we're starting the series called Prayer 101. And it's the Lord's Prayer. Jesus, actually, it's not the Lord's Prayer. It's how he told us to pray. But we're going to take probably 3 or 4 weeks to go through that prayer because there's so many interesting dynamics that most people just kind of push past. Because when we come to prayer, here's what we do. Okay, so we say our, acts, adoration, confession, whatever, or we go through our little, spiel. And then we start to tell God how we think something should work out.
Right.
When in fact, he's the only one that knows how it should work out. So I think it's more than acceptable to say, God, I have no idea about this situation, but I just want to bring it to you. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that they need your help. And I'm just praying that you would, give them your help. I think that's a simple childlike prayer. Like a kid comes to their dad and says, hey, I can't fix this. Can you fix it?
Right.
I mean, that's it. They don't sit there and say, Father, if you were to take this and change this and walk around here and you were to, we orchestrate prayers as if we're telling God exactly what he should do. And
Well, as you said, we would have no clue what to even say in a situation of even North Carolina or South Carolina getting hit by this hurricane.
Right.
We have no idea.
Right. Right.
I think just the fact that you're cognizant of it, thinking about it, it's on your heart, but I don't think you have to dwell there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. Well, here's the first topic I found online today was this, that they are predicting that It Part 2. Do you know the movie
dear.
It?
You're really going there on
I
this.
can't believe they made another one.
Yeah. It Part 2.
Well, the billboards are giving people nightmares.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a story. I don't know where the billboard is at, but the billboard, people have been saying, take it down. It's giving me nightmares. Was they drive to work and back? And forth.
No way.
I'm joking. It was a story on Drudge.
I hate October.
Right.
Just because they always pop
Well, I
up
hate
stupid
October
commercials.
And December.
I love October the month,
Right.
but
I hate what it brings.
yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, because
And
you'll
Christmas.
literally be doing whatever, and then they'll pop up this horrific whatever advertising.
Because at Christmas seems to be the second most populated time to make horror movies.
Yeah,
If you notice.
yeah.
Right. Well, here's what they said. They said that for horror movies, that It Part 2 this year already has outdone the pre-sale tickets from any other horror movie in the past.
That's crazy.
People want this. They have an appetite for destruction.
Dude,
Which is a Guns N' Roses album.
Dude, I'm watching at my, because I didn't really want to, because I hate watching stuff like this, because I think it just,
You watched the trailer?
I watched the trailer.
Good for you.
And the trailer it's just ignorant. Like you're watching it going, okay, maybe when I was like 10, this stuff would scare me. But I can understand that if you're not in Christ, this stuff would be freaky. And second, this is what I noticed in the trailer and what people don't understand. That if you are apart from Christ, those movies may actually be your eternity.
Yeah, it's your reality.
Like in a evil world where nobody cares,
But
you
do
can't
you
do
think
anything about it, and there's just
subconsciously-
evil conscious.
Do you think
constantly.
subconsciously you're in love with that? Like you're trying to figure out what your life's going to look like?
It's possible.
I can't figure out the infatuation with it. They terrify me. I'm a little girl when it comes to these movies.
Right.
And just looking. All right, so looking at what they said was the billboard, it may still be on Drudge. We should look. looking at what they said was the billboard, the picture is disturbing.
I feel very left out here.
You better get your device.
It's very
out.
interactive,
Do
Mitch.
this.
is very interactive.
Perfect.
Yeah, here. I mean, look at this. It's
Oh, yeah.
making the news daily.
Right. And this is a clown, correct?
Yeah, this is a clown.
And we wonder
And
why
it
we have
kills
all these
people,
weird,
I think.
stupid
Wait,
clown
that's the
things
billboard?
going on.
No, the billboard was something else.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I don't know. Just the
Well, I mean,
creepy,
isn't this-
dead-eyed characters that pop up on TV make
Right,
me.
isn't that
don't
scary
know.
just by itself?
Yeah.
I don't know, and nobody's going to be able to see this, but go to Drudge Report. They look at what they run things for it every day on Drudge, which I think is almost a form of advertising on top of it.
Right. Well, I'm just I'm trying to. The reason I keep going through our my phone is because I'm trying to see. It looks like there's a lot of different comments, but I'm only getting some of the comments from.
Some
Facebook.
people have said hi, Judy,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I know that.
And
well,
Naomi and Becky are on, right?
are they?
But I don't seem to be getting any of Naomi and Becky's posts like that they're on. So I don't know what's going on. Why it's not showing this for me, which is strange.
Daddy says people don't realize demons are real. We just talked about that last week.
Mhm.
They're all demons.
They're all demons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't
they're
matter.
Very real.
From Bigfoot to aliens, demons.
So let me ask.
Bigfoot is?
Yeah.
Oh,
What else could it be?
I don't know.
So wouldn't you like to
Could be in a file.
wouldn't you like to see a statistic and find out how many kids under the age of even say 18 are going to watch this movie?
It'd be huge.
Under 18? Ugh.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah,
huge.
it'd be a lot.
It'd be staggering.
Because technically they wouldn't be allowed to get in if they're not if they're under
Accompanied
18,
by a
right?
parent.
I wonder why people are going crazy and there's shootings everywhere.
Yeah,
it's
it's
weird.
nuts.
It's really strange. Can't quite put it together. You guys
No.
want to go see it this weekend?
Yeah.
Watch a
right.
killer clown?
We'll go home and play video games.
Yeah. And the thing is that the killer clown, like I don't know that he's shooting anybody. It appears he's just scaring the crud out of people and then he's stabbing people to death, right?
I have no idea.
I don't even really
I just know he has horrible orthodontic.
Oh,
He has
area.
bad teeth.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the it clown has terrible teeth.
See, that's
Well, and
almost-
this is only from the. I don't know what the new one. I just remember the 1970s or 80s one was, and
I-
only saw
now there
part
was-
of that one, and I was where he like lived in the
Drain?
sewer drain.
Yeah,
and
that-
I was
he
like,
still does.
I was like, this is not for me.
No, yeah, where he's like trying to get kids to
Yeah.
come. Like, who wants? I don't even understand who wants to watch this. Now, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Now that's just good fun.
That's just good time fun.
They wrap their victims in cotton candy.
Yeah,
and
And
they
then
suck
I'll
their
get
blood
out-
out with a straw.
and they all get out of a
That's
clown car.
good. That's a good 70s,
That's
80s
just
B movie.
They wrap their victims in cotton candy.
Yeah.
That's good.
They-
I think
they
we watched-
ride- they-
I think I watched that at a youth convention in
Yeah.
Columbus.
they ride around in this tiny car.
Tiny
and they're
car.
all
And there's like 8 of
gigantic.
them.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of them in there.
Oh, man.
But it can't do it.
Can't do it.
Well, all right.
Well, it's like the Ring movie. Like that girl is
Yeah.
just a girl,
Right.
but the way she is posed and her face and the way
Mhm.
like I don't even think it's the person. I really think that it's evil emanating from the
oh
movie.
yeah, definitely.
Like it's carrying a signal.
Right. If April were here, she would tell you because she probably remembers it very well. Josh and I, when The Ring came out, we got it one night and we watched it, and neither one of us could sleep.
No.
we literally could not sleep while we watched it because all we saw was pictures of her coming out of that
Yeah.
well
Right.
or out of that TV,
Right.
Yeah.
and like freaking you out.
No, and
You
that's
know?
what I'm saying. Like that messed with your head for a little while.
Right.
Yeah, messed with my head for a little while.
So let's see. So I guess Naomi and Rebecca. they're on,
Becky.
right?
Well, she said Becky says she's had nothing to add, and Naomi said she's had nothing to add.
Well, then we should just move on to the next topic, don't you think?
And Dottie says she doesn't allow violent movies in her home. Period,
Huh.
which is good,
Yeah, that is good.
unless it's Clint Eastwood.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Clint has a way to make violence look
Yeah.
exciting.
There's
is
nothing
exciting.
wrong with just a good old fashioned western.
Right.
Like that was just historically accurate.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Or like a Billy the Kid movie.
Yeah, but you probably don't want to go Tombstone. That's a little bit
Oh, it's the best movie ever.
It is, but if you got kids, you don't want to do Tombstone.
It's bad that I let mine watch.
Val Kilmer, you my Huckleberry.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's one of his best parts ever. Yeah. See that kind. I'm down for that kind of violence.
Maybe you know what?
That's just regular guns and people being sheriffs.
Right before
it's normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the men's weekend, we should have
Tombstone
Tombstone
weekend.
Yeah.
I love this.
We gotta do it.
You know what would be ridiculous? Is if we get twice as many people for that, which would be like 400 or 500. It'd be like 400 or 500
Yeah.
versus our measly 250 for the men's retreat.
Yeah, we would. So far, speaking of men's retreat,
Get a commercial here.
yeah, it's commercial time. Speaking of men's retreat, we have a men's retreat. It's actually not a retreat; it's a weekend.
A men's weekend.
But we have it coming up. And listen, people, there are tons of people looking this thing up.
But no one committing.
But no one's committing. We have 10 right now. We have 10 people signed up and registered, and we have 14 days.
Can we throw out their pony rides? There'll be pony rides.
There will, if we can find a pony, there will be pony rides. We'll see large men on small horses.
Ponies.
Yeah. So if you want to come, yeah, I'll tell you what. If we get 100 people to sign up, I'll find a pony.
We'll rent a pony.
Yeah. And we'll see if we can put large.
We gotta get a mean one though, so it'll buck a little bit.
Yeah, we want a mean pony that wants you off.
Listen, there's coming a day too. Once we get into our studio, there's a
yeah. No, it's coming.
It's coming.
Dear.
There's coming a day
It's
once
gonna
we
double
get.
as a toddler rope.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good. The soft padded walls.
Yeah.
Once we get into our studio, there's coming a day where we'll be using software where instead of me holding a picture up, we'll just move to the frame and you'll see that announcement.
Right.
Because we can do that now on Sundays on
Right.
vMix,
Right. And you just want a way to control it from our phone.
Right. Yeah, that's all we need to do.
And I'm sure we could just download an app and make it happen, but we haven't yet. Because we're
Right.
putting up new lights, a
Yes.
stage.
A stage.
We're making a sanctuarium.
Sanctuarium.
Is
A
it?
tiny sanctuarium?
Yeah, I would call it a sank shop, like a coffee shop. It's like a sank
Oh.
shop.
Well, listen.
Is there going to be coffee tables?
Well, it's warm. It'll be warm and kind of cozy.
We got to do the tinner on the bottom. Just saying.
No, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But these are talks.
The wood's a real downer.
These are talks for later today.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if we do this online, there'll be so many opinions about
No, yeah, there'll be a lot of opinions. But anyway, the improvements that we're making are leaps and bounds.
Magnificent.
Don't come for Jesus. Come see our new decorating. That's what I say.
it. Yeah. And I would agree with that. Because most people don't want to. Yeah.
No, I know.
They would come in a heartbeat to see something like that.
Don't come learn how to pray.
Yeah.
That's dumb. You need to come see our new lights.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. There's 2 people watching right now on Facebook.
We got
That's
a
all we
Brandon and a Brian.
Well,
Oh, that's you. You're watching your own
I know.
Facebook.
That's me. Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right. So
Did we lose everybody?
I don't know that we watched everybody.
No,
Brandon Westover's on.
mine
watching.
says there's 5 people on here.
Okay, so here's the second thing I wanted to throw out today. The second topic, and it's this. Let me see if I can walk back to the Al Jazeera site that I was on. Nope, of course not, because it wanted to take me to some kind of spam mail. So I'll just do this again. But here's the thing. Question. Somebody, do you have a Bible on your phone?
Yeah.
Pull up
Why would I have a Bible on my phone?
Pull up Revelation chapter 16, verse 12, and let's read it. And I'll find this article here. And once I find it, I'll give you the gist of what's going down. And see
Would you like it in the Message Bible?
Definitely not.
The Amplified version.
The Amplified version, that would be
I
fine.
was joking.
Amplified version. would be fine.
Everybody knows King James is where it's at.
Oh my goodness. It was
This
Wednesday night in prayer. We just realized that King James didn't have it right in Daniel chapter.
Oh, you're gonna really tick off Pastor Anderson.
I know. Sorry, Steve.
All right,
I call him Steve.
you're that close now.
Mhm.
That's good. I call him Pastor Anderson because it sounds kind of like The Matrix. That's a real old reference. Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay. 12. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river, the Euphrates, and its waters were dried up, so that the way would be prepared for the kings from the east.
Okay.
And you want to go how far?
No, that's it. That's it. So listen to this. This is on Al Jazeera World.com or Al Jazeera.com. Iraq's drying rivers. War and pollution plagued the Fertile Crescent's Tigris and Euphrates rivers, leaving fishermen struggling to survive. And so part of the reasoning behind why this is happening is Turkey has built dams to divert the water. There's also just been, just problems with the whole thing. Let's see here. Iraq's ancient rivers and water resources have been seriously damaged by wars, economic sanctions, the construction of upstream dams, pollution, and fall in water levels, because the water levels have fallen like 40% in the last 20 years in the Euphrates. Now, so some people are saying this is a this is an end times
fulfillment of
prophecy that could be happening. Now
that would mean that we're in the tribulation right now.
It might,
or we're on is this the beginnings of it?
Well, yeah, because this would be one of the 6 bowls.
Number 6.
This isn't even a trumpet.
But maybe it's just preparing. Like maybe they're letting some of the water out. They're like, we're getting ready.
Well, hold on. So wouldn't the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth have to happen first?
So you're saying we should read those and go, oh yeah, that happened.
Chronological order.
I don't know. Yeah. Is that how it would
By the way, my dad's watching. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. All right. So
the first one was painful sores.
Okay, we got those.
People have.
I have one.
I got painful sore.
Seed turned to blood. Didn't happen yet.
What's his name's eye? Vessel. No. What's his name's eye did?
That's not the seed.
Joe Biden's eye turned to blood.
Third one is rivers and springs became blind.
Rivers,
but there are rivers that have turned red in Brazil and stuff.
Yeah, we have seen that.
The red tide.
Fourth was the sun.
Sun what?
Scorched people with fire.
I got sunburn on a
I got sunburn.
Yeah,
I've had sunburns.
Fifth one, the kingdom was plunged into darkness, nighttime. If we're gonna reach that far,
that's a reach, Mitch.
Yeah. We got sunburns and nighttime.
Yeah,
that's good.
Then we're on number 6, which is where we are.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. People, I'm not saying that this could not be part of fulfillment to make the way, but listen, if you've got a large angel pouring out this wrath, and he's going to come down and he's going to suck up all the water, I don't think he needs the help of Turkey making dams and all these other things going on. I think he just comes down, he dries it all up, and
you're expecting this to literally happen.
Well, possibly, So here's the thing: does your end times theology, or does your theology in general, have to be literal or allegorical, or is it a mixture of both, or do you just wait and see? That's the question here, because there are people here who are saying this is an end time fulfillment that's happening right now.
Who, John Hagee?
It's ushering in its way.
Jack Van Impe?
I did see another website where it was, but one of the guys that I saw at first was, you know who Perry Stone is?
No, I am really out on that.
He's a prophecy guy. He also spends some time in numerology type stuff.
Perfect.
Like the code.
Yeah.
The code stuff. He does a little bit of that. So that's where I kind of part ways with him.
Right.
Because I'm not into that whole code thing. I don't think that's really...
It's actually anti-biblical.
Yeah. I understand that the Hebrews did, commit numbers to letters and those kind of things, but I think it's gone too far. But anyway, so the idea is that, this could be a fulfillment of prophecy happening, getting us closer to the end, but yet I'm looking at it and going, wait a minute, the scriptures, if you're going to take it literally.
Which is what I think you have to do.
You have to.
Yeah.
Unless the Bible interprets it differently. So unless it says, then an angel stood before me and told me what this meant.
Right.
And then they explained
this will happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. However, that takes us back to a lot of other things that we could talk about from here. But
this goes back to the preterist, millennial, post-millennial debate all over again.
Yep. And for those of you that may not know what preterists and amill and post-mill are, preterism actually goes way back.
It's saying in 70 AD. That was
70 AD was the
beginning of the tribulation.
and we're actually in the millennial kingdom now.
Now we're in the millennial reign.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is that's interesting. I don't know if you ever heard this, but I was reading an article or listening to something, and they said the Catholic Church. I think the article said that the Catholic Church actually has a preterist type of theology.
That's good.
And
Eschatology.
and they believe that we're in the millennial kingdom, and the Catholic Church is the 24 elders who are ruling right now.
They would paint themselves in a good light, wouldn't they?
Well, they would, and so they're the ruling body of the church on
Yeah.
earth right now.
Problem is, all the kid touching really wrecks it for them.
Well, that does. But to be fair, that happens all over the place, not just in the Catholic Church right now.
Why would I know?
Well,
That's really strange.
Yeah, that is strange how to put that. Well, I mean, you read it. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, it happens.
It is. It happens everywhere. Why would it be just a bunch of priests who have denied themselves women and, built a whole church on a false premise to begin with?
I get it.
And then let it all become corrupted.
Right. Not to mention, there seems to be almost no justice brought to any of these situations.
No, because they run the world now.
Other than maybe paying families off.
They're,
That's
part of the Freemasons and the Illuminati and all yada, yada, yada.
So, and are we going to go there at all?
No, we don't have to.
Okay, we don't have to go there. All right.
It takes too long. I'm exhausted from it.
Now, Dottie said that we're not going to have to guess when the seals happen, meaning that she thinks it's going to be so dramatic that.
Well, yeah, I mean the way it's written, it will be.
Or does she mean she won't be here?
Oh, because she'll be raptured out.
Right.
It's possible.
Yeah. I think that we won't have to guess because it'll be so horrific while we're here that we'll be like, oh, there's the other one.
Yeah.
We've survived this long. Good luck, everybody.
Right. Well, I think it is safe to say, though, that some of these things that are happening are just a precursor to the fact that the Messiah has to show up sometime soon. This world is caving in on itself.
Mm-hmm.
Agree or disagree?
No, it is. It's
morally.
Again, though, you go back to like the Crusades and the Dark Ages and the demonic plague. Those people thought the world was pretty terrible too.
I got you. I hear
all it was murder, stabbings, heads getting chopped off, dictator kings and queens, and you could die from a disease at any second.
Right, because we didn't have antibiotics.
No, we didn't have soap, and we let rats stay in our houses.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have really soap now, and rats.
Because we didn't have antibiotics until the 1920s, and they made the plague go away by just cleaning and pushing the rats out.
Yeah. I did hear that is it the bubonic?
The bubonic plague.
Bubonic?
Well, that was
that
was the Dark Ages. Bubonic.
Yeah.
B-O-O.
No, it's
B-O-O-B-O-N-I-C. B-O-N-I-C.
Well, I did hear it's making a comeback.
Bubonic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it started in the Half Dome. What park is that?
What's the Half Dome?
Yosemite.
Oh.
Half Dome and
B-U-B-O-N-I-C.
Bubonic plague.
B-O-O. It's near there.
Boo. Where's it at? Mitch, did you look up where it's at now? Like what's going on with it?
I did not.
It's in LA now. It's like in general California.
Okay, so technically,
but it's because it's dirty. They're also pooping in the streets.
Fewer than
someone actually had that.
Hey, there's 1,000 US.
Do you want pictures?
I mean, yeah, if you want to pull them up.
I mean, they're literally pooping in the streets of San Francisco and in Southern California. There's literal feces on the road. People.
Well, have you ever driven down Middlefield?
Well, that's just horse poop.
Oh, that's different?
Horse poop isn't going to hurt anybody.
Oh, okay.
You could put this stuff in your mouth. Well, you can. I did it when I was little. That. But either way, anyway.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Hey, Jolie is watching. I have no idea why she's watching.
Well, either way, anyway. But this is why it's not a shocker that the bubonic plague is coming back to California. They're turning it into Tijuana. Like this illegal immigrant crisis that we have is bringing their land up here.
According to this map,
it's
mostly
it's up there in the
New Mexico,
parts.
Arizona.
Can you show that to the camera? They won't be able to see it.
You're gonna have to get up there.
No, you can see it. It's there.
Just zoom in, peeps.
Just so everybody knows, all of us in Ohio,
We're safe.
We're
right
safe.
There's not one
No,
down.
and this goes back. We're
There's
going
one
to
near
bring this.
Chicago.
now. Ooh.
There's a lot. Don't be in the New Mexico, Colorado, the 4 states area.
Oh yeah, no, that's really
Yeah,
that just makes you want to wash your hands.
They're really making it happen over there.
Well, Jolie is actually a nurse. We should ask her to comment on why this is actually happening.
They're pooping on the road. We know this.
Is that how it spread?
Yeah, dirt.
I think it spread through.
No, it was
I think
rats
it
and whatever.
It's rats, but
Rats.
if you have dirt and what now you have rats, then it's
I think it spread through bodily fluid, though, right? You can't just get it from like touching it.
no, it's in the air.
It's airborne.
It's airborne,
Spread by fleas.
It's spread by fleas.
Fleas.
but it's
Let's
airborne
get,
too.
let's get
isn't it?
some real facts here. It's spread by fleas, man.
Fleas.
No, isn't it also airborne?
No, it's not airborne.
See, this is where we get our information from the internet. The internet never lies. We
It's
sometimes
mainly spread by infected fleas from small animals, which is why the rats.
Yeah. So if you have a
It may
dog,
also result from exposure to bodily fluids from a dead plague-infected animal. It's not airborne.
it's not airborne. Yeah, that's what.
Well, I
thought.
stand corrected.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you admitted that, man.
Yeah, I don't always have to be right. Just most of the time.
Just most of the time. Okay. So are these end time scenarios too? I mean, the whole disease stuff going on.
Well, how long is your end times philosophy? Because this was happening in 12 and 1300s.
That's what I'm saying. So here's the key. If we're going to discuss like all this stuff, whether the Euphrates is drying up or the end times, I think Dottie's right in the fact that we can't miss it. It's going to be pretty powerful. Mitch, you said the same thing. If it's going to happen, boom, it's going to be a serious event. But I almost think that the world is pumped and ready and primed for that event. And I didn't live back, like you said, Matt, back in the day where that stuff was happening and it was the same concept. But I don't know. There's something in my body that just says, man, something's got to happen. Maybe it's just part of my manliness that wants something to happen so we can see something serious happen.
We kind of talked about this at breakfast.
Yeah, this is kind of where we're going.
This is kind of where, yeah.
Well, why don't you guys carry it the rest of the way then?
Well, it's just, I don't know. The mentality of people who don't realize that chicken doesn't just come on a grocery store shelf.
Right.
I mean, how many people are thinking that way now? I have to think it's a vast majority of the population anymore.
Or
Which is insane.
they find it abhorrent that I tell my 2-year-old that when we eat bacon, we're eating a piggy's tummy. They're like, why are you telling him that? I'm like, so he knows where bacon comes from.
Actually, that's not. Tripe is a cow stomach. You said tummy?
Well, it's muscles, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it the back?
No. This I know.
This
right.
he seems to know.
This
Let's
I'm right.
check it and see if he's
Go
right.
ahead.
All right.
Tell me where bacon comes from.
I will.
They cut it.
We'll get rid of
They
them
cut it
fun
all out
butcher
of here.
pictures.
Out of the tummy.
That's why it's the fattiest. That's why it's bacon. That's why it's cheap.
Was it you guys last week we were talking about how pigs will just eat you?
Oh, that was at the small group.
Oh, at the small group, yeah. I never knew that real pigs, just normal pigs, would eat you.
They eat anything.
I'm thinking about fatback.
Fat back
Which
and the
is
loin is in
bacon
the
on
back.
steroids.
So it says.
Yeah.
So real bacon
But
does
we're-
come from the tummy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tum-tum.
Tum-tum.
Wow.
It's tum-tum muscles.
There's the picture right there.
Yeah.
It's factual. There's a picture online about it.
That's right.
So
Oh, there's one of them.
What about what's right becomes wrong and what's right? Yeah, this is Judy commenting. Like, that's obvious.
that is a sign. Paul wrote to
Well, I
Timothy.
mean, like, we're there.
Yeah.
We're like, we have presidential candidates who want to murder babies as population control, and I think it's great.
Yeah, throw that out.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
The Bernie.
Explain
feel
like
the
what
burn.
what was going on.
Well, we had a 7-hour town hall on CNN. I didn't actually suffer through it myself. All the people that I like to watch comment on things, I let them do the heavy lifting and watch it. But they brought in the little sound bites, and it's everything.
Can I interrupt? You mean they didn't call you in to do any of that?
No. I'm not photogenic. So
It's still a shame.
no, it is. I think it'd be fairly entertaining.
It would be.
But either way, anyway, Bernie Sanders, he thinks there needs to be more abortions. He's going to be courageous enough and stand up and say, we need to have more abortions to control population. We need to not eat meat because of cow farts. So
implement the one-child policy.
Implement the one-child policy. They're going to tell us what to eat, what we do with our light bulbs.
We're basically robots.
What did you say?
That robots.
Robots.
Yeah, robots.
What'd you say her name was? Wants to take over the Senate.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is going to take over the Senate.
Take over the Senate and make all this get rammed through.
Yeah, they don't even have a clue of how our government works,
Right.
let alone they want to be the head of it. Which they just want to be a pile of dictators.
Yeah.
They're racing to see who can be the dictator.
Uh-huh.
The 2020 dictator off.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. And the minute you look at all that information rationally and you say there's a problem with it, all of a sudden you're a hater, you're racist.
You're racist.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just illogical thinking. That's just lazy thinking. Like,
Well, it's like the guy you said that just says, nope, you're wrong.
right. Well, we were talking about the debate between William Lane Craig
Yes.
and
I couldn't stomach it. I've made it an hour.
it wasn't Sam Harris. I think it was Hitchens, maybe.
Yes, it was. I've been looking up for you.
Yeah, look it up because I think we're both the wrong. I think I have the wrong guy. I think it might have been. It's an older gentleman, and I can't remember his
he's
name.
not.
He's a scientist.
This guy thinks he's a rock star.
Really? But anyway, William Lane Craig is having this debate with this gentleman, and of course, William Lane Craig is speaking from a theological standpoint, a Christian, taking a Christian.
Lawrence
worldview.
Krauss.
Lawrence Krauss, that's it.
Isn't that the one you told me?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Oh, he's a weasel.
And Lawrence Krauss is literally just trying to pick William Lane Craig apart by saying, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. Science knows everything."
Like, just because I say it, it must be true.
Oh my goodness.
That's his whole attitude, and it's like William Lane Craig. We talked about this at breakfast. Lays down the debate forum, the proper decorum of main idea, outline, supporting facts. Here's my conclusion.
Yeah.
This guy's just like, science is awesome because it lets us do whatever we want, and the Bible's dumb because it tells us how to live, and those are just antiquated ideas. I mean, and which God do we, this is his favorite one. He loves this one. Which God should we listen to? The Muslim God, the rain God, the tree God? Because we proved all those wrong.
Yeah.
How do you know yours is still right?
Yeah.
Like, this is his whole, like, I just want to throw something. I want to throw a projectile at the television.
Yeah. And one of the greatest arguments against what Krauss was talking about right there is he tries to take and say that science has proved that the people who used to worship the sun god were idiots. The people who used to worship the moon god were idiots. The greatest argument I've ever heard for that is that read the Bible, because you'll see that in the Bible, they were to never worship any of those things.
Right.
They were to worship the one who created.
Well,
those things.
this is the thing is
It's
I
like,
actually go to where he says, I'm hanging the moon and stars so you will know who I am.
right.
I think that proves that those are just misguided cultures who have a yearning in their spirit. And this is what William Lane Craig was trying to argue with this idiot who wouldn't listen, was that, like, you can't, science can't talk the metaphysical. Science runs up to the metaphysical, which is, why are we here?
Right.
Because once you ask why are we here, if you can't answer that well, we might as well all just kill each other if we feel like it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bring in the metaphysical of, obviously we were created and are responsible to a greater being than us, now all of a sudden we have morals and we have a reason to whatever. Not just because we all came to this conclusion scientifically.
Right.
Because then, it really ticked off the Krauss guy because he's like, because the Nazis were scientific, and the Krauss guy goes, "Oh, that's what everyone always says: the Nazis, the Nazis, the Nazis." And it's like, because it's legit.
Everybody knows you can only apply that to political people.
I mean, essentially, that's kind of.
Yeah. No, that doesn't work in science.
I don't know. I found the guy completely frustrating because that's
what's so great about watching
in the middle. Like, he's the only guy that would be like, the moderator would be like, okay, so let's suspend for a second the idea that we have. He'd be like, you can't. He literally, like, it's like I'm watching a 12-year-old.
I know.
Like,
I know.
all right, so let's suppose that ain't happening. And you're like,
It's like
did
you're
an adult just do this?
When you're 8 running around, I'm bulletproof. You can't get me.
Yeah. And then I would go, no, you're not. And this is the debate we're having.
And here's what was so I guess refreshing about it. But you're watching William Lane Craig, and William Lane Craig is just sitting there kindly listening to his stuff. And then William Lane Craig would be like, I mean, seriously, he'd be like
Trying to bring you down a thought road.
Yeah, he'd be like, okay, well, here's the, and so he just logical thinking, And Krause then at times, did you see him like stand up and like come towards?
No, I don't
Craig,
think I made it. I don't think I made it.
Okay, so this guy's like totally like irate and
Yes.
going nuts, and Craig is just sitting there going, "This is my argument. You got
Right.
problems with that."
No, and this is the whole thing with the left and agenda-driven morality. You don't have a real reason to stand on it at all.
Right.
You have nothing.
Right.
We have the Bible to go, God commands this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't my responsibility. This is what he wants.
Yeah.
If you have agenda-driven morality, you've got nothing to hang it on.
Right.
So when you go, when somebody asks you, well, how do you know that? The only thing to do is get irate and go, you just need to listen to me.
Yeah, right. That's what he's saying.
Just stop arguing.
Just stop arguing. You're dumb. And then come out the insults. You're dumb.
You're dumb.
If you had half a brain, you'd understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And
it's
ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. Maybe I can find it here, but I was watching a debate between who's the mathematician guy? Man, I won't be able to think of his name now.
Stephen Hawking?
No.
Christian?
Yeah, he's Christian. Debates with what's the dude's? Oh, John Lennox. And atheist. I'll find him here real quick. It'll come up. What's the dude's name? He's an older dude. This was the same thing though. This older dude was like, man, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's a fairly atheist philosopher. But this dude was like, every time John Lennox would have a logical, rational argument,
Infuriated.
He would get infuriated. He goes, "Oh, that's just poppycock, or whatever." And he's like from England or whatever.
Right.
And he would just totally like turn every thinking aspect of his mind off.
You can't.
Like, that's just wrong.
You can't come back at it with facts. Like you can't. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you have nothing to come back at with what
Right.
that person's saying.
Right.
And so the only thing that's what I'm saying. The only thing to do is become furious.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because your argument is losing and you don't like it.
Yeah.
And you can't admit it. You can't admit that maybe you have something to think about.
Right. And the thing that's so interesting too is they always try to say, well, how do you don't have any evidence or facts to prove that God exists? No, I don't technically have, like, I can't just put him here and put him in front of your face for a naturalistic view and show them that he exists. But these atheists act like history and historical documents and things that we found and writings on, they act like there's nothing to that.
Well, they're trying to get rid of it.
So if you were to go back then and say, look at all the experiments that so-and-so made or whatever, we could say that never happened.
They find a reason to throw it away. Well, and it's what's happening. We were talking about the Betsy Ross flag thing is now a symbol of hatred in America because the alt-right uses it as a symbol of their whatever. I think this is just a convenient way to throw our history down a toilet. Because if you can throw our history down a toilet, you hang our country on nothing. And if you hang our country on nothing, it can be anything we want it to be, which is what the left wants.
Right.
They want it to be a third world toilet.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, if you don't believe it, look at California. I'm serious. Look up pictures of California. It's turning into a toilet.
Wow.
You were just there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a toilet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
Well, it's not. I don't know. When I was there last
is
year,
Hollywood bad?
I was in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
When I was there last year, it was really bad. They've half kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Like there's not as many homeless people running around.
no, they're all in San Francisco.
But yeah, I mean, they probably all just migrated more toward the city. But
Are you talking about Skid Row? Or are
No,
you talking about all
large chunks of the area.
the place I go is, I don't know, probably 3 miles from downtown San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be like homeless people in shopping carts There was campers parked all over the side of the road. Like, people were just living on the streets. And it's cleaned up a little bit.
It's so bad. It's so bad. There's a meme. I think it was somebody from the UK made the meme, or it's a video of a guy slipping on human waste and then falling in it and brushing it off his suit jacket, just walking in the streets of California.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
gotten really bad. But we're importing that ideology. Like, why are you running from your country? Because it is a toilet, and you're bringing your toilet here. And I'm a racist now for saying this. But if you bring a toilet here, then it's going to be a toilet. But yet I'm, not being culturally sensitive, because these people should be allowed to come here. We don't have to respect our borders. These people don't have to want to move here because they want to be us and join us. They deserve to bring their culture here too. And all of it is almost godless. And what really irritates me is the church has, like, the World Without Borders and some of these bigger organizations. They've jumped on this. They have people that support this borderless world,
Mm-hmm.
and this idea that borders are a figment of imagination, and we don't have to enforce any of this stuff. And they're accepting globalism. This is all moved towards globalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what we're doing is we need to bring America down to the level of the rest of the world for us to have globalism. You can't have one country doing really well.
Yeah.
And this is the ultimate irony is everyone's trying to get here. Why? Because we're told by our democratic that we're terrible.
Yeah.
We have a terrible history of racism and hatred. We have slavery in our past. We killed all the Indians. We took this by force. Like, we're told we're these horrible people who did all these terrible things, and that's not to say that America hasn't done its share of problems.
Right.
We haven't done everything right.
Right.
But why are people trying to flock here?
Right. Yeah.
If we're the worst, if we
have running water,
if we're 48, it's true. It's clean. We have clean water, and we have sewage that goes somewhere other than the water that we drink. Mm-hmm. And this is the fact of the matter. Like, we're told we're 58th in the world for medicine. Where does that list come from? Because the last time I checked, people come here for their surgeries.
Yep.
And for their medicine. Cleveland Clinic. There's tons of them. Mm-hmm. There's the hospitals in Chicago. Philadelphia is big for something.
Right.
Like, people are trying to come. Why? Right. If we're such a toilet. But I don't know. This is a very deep subject.
No, it is. And not to change the subject, but Naomi asked if Michael Roos was the one that was debating John Lennox that I was talking about. And those are good debates as well. But I looked it up, and no, the guy I was thinking of was Peter Atkins, who's another philosopher. This old
the founder of the Atkins diet?
No. No. But it's actually yeah. Him and
is that the chubby guy?
No, this is a skinny older fellow. I think he might be British or English of some sort, but he's hilarious because his argument is literally like, "Oh, that's just stupid."
Yeah,
like, that's just ignorant thinking.
Right.
And then he tells Lennox, he's like, "That whole Christian thing is just lazy thinking." And I'm going, Lennox has said more intelligent things in the last 3 paragraphs than you said the whole entire debate.
But then you get to just regard it by going, "That's the laziest thing I've ever heard."
Oh my goodness!
And how no one goes, "Well, you haven't presented another side. I'm waiting for your argument."
Yeah, right.
But it doesn't fit the agenda.
Right. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. When these leading atheists debate and speak about these things, there are sometimes, and I know it's the enemy, but there are times with what they say, even though what they say sometimes is so illogical, that the enemy can almost put a seed of doubt in your mind. Now,
you think about it.
Now, if he can do that to a believer, think of what's happening to people who are on the fence or kind of not sure or are totally not believing.
They're easily twisted.
Oh, they're sucking that stuff in like a sponge. Yeah, they're sucking the stuff.
The last big thing that happened was this idea, and this was in that Krause's opening remarks, was like, there's been resurrection stories since the beginning of time. There's been virgin births, and he goes through all of the Egyptian and
that was
culture.
Krause, right?
Krause, yes. And it's this thing of like, no, we all had a common beginning, and those stories obviously were true, and these other cultures perverted them.
Right.
That's never the thought.
Right.
The thought is obviously that no, that's where Jesus came from.
Right.
No, it's we have this Bible that walks through the whole thing. Now we have the advantage of it. They didn't. Somebody had to have the writings, right?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. From all the way from old Mesopotamia, you have these writings.
Right.
The story of Gilgamesh has some of these flood stories and epic.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is a lot of it was oral tradition.
Right.
That old.
Right. No. Right.
But if your common origin is God and the garden,
right,
and then somehow over here the stories break off and become perverted,
right,
but they're very similar to the true story,
right.
Is it that far of a leap to say, well, this is just a perverted version of the true story?
Exactly.
Not that obviously our story came from those stories. Like somehow we raised the perverted story up higher and say it was first. No, there's no way that it was.
Right. And that's one of Craig's arguments for Krause that day, I think, was he's like, well, listen. He's like, I don't believe that the world was sitting on the back of a turtle like some of the
right, yeah.
He's like, here is. And so then he gives the logical explanation for creation, and Krause is still like, "Oh, you're an idiot," blah blah.
Well, right, because and this is the thing, and because to Krause it's just another fairy tale. Because if you put the chronology and what you believe was found history, if you prioritize the perverted story, then the Bible looks like a copy. But if you follow the Bible is the only thing that explains itself from beginning to end. Right. So if you can't allow that to win your heart over, and show you that obviously this is the logical conclusion and all of these other things are a perversion of it, then there's no hope for you.
Right. And what I thought was interesting too, the fact that our show here on Fridays, we said uneducated, but we've got Krause who has a doctorate. He's a scientist.
Yeah.
And yet he's playing the arguments.
I thought he was a reporter. I thought he wrote articles.
No, I think he's a scientist.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I thought he was like a science reporter. Like he's about as much a scientist as Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We'll look that up and we'll find out if he is a real scientist, because we don't want to say anything not right against Krause because he may come back and sue us.
No, he's a jerk.
Okay, so anyway, Krause uses then as a smart intellectual, guy, atheist. He uses the arguments of all of these supposed virgin births and resurrections and all these things, which goes back to the old Zeitgeist movie that came out.
Yes.
I don't know how many years ago.
Right. It was probably 7 years ago or so.
Right. And I have on our YouTube channel, I have an outline, a PowerPoint outline that goes through every single one of those supposed stories that have virgin birth, the child was born a certain time in a certain place, and he was crucified and resurrected, 3 days later. I have all that stuff documented on there in a PowerPoint, where if you go back and you just look at the literature, you will find that Zeitgeist as well as Krause are literally just taking these stories.
They're mixing them to fit their narrative.
And they are mixing them to fit their narrative.
That's what I'm saying.
So they can try to say that these are exactly like the Jesus thing, and they're not even close.
No, because what you'll end up finding out is that these parts of these stories happened after the resurrection.
Right.
That it was added to,
right.
Or what? That's where you'll end up finding out. Like it wasn't a prediction of, or it wasn't a whatever.
Right.
Or just because Horus came out of the river in Egypt, that's not a resurrection.
No,
that's, that's how they believed he was birthed or whatever. And they cut Isis and they chopping of the people into the river and all. Like they're their own standalone story.
Right.
We don't have those parts, and
Right.
if those parts are there, you end up finding out they got added on after the
Right.
Christian story.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's all, in my opinion, it's all hoax. I mean, it's just a way to, throw confusion into the truth, and that's what people are doing. So it is about that time to finish up. Our hour went fast today.
Go work on a stage,
and we're going to go work on a stage and
see if we mess it up for Matt. See if we can really make Matt Miller unhappy with us.
Yeah, because Matt is the project manager.
He's our chief builder.
Yeah, he's our chief builder.
Yeah,
and we'll try to mess it up as best we can, Matt. But anything
no,
else?
we can cut something. I would like to. I was thinking about this because I just happened to me in the car yesterday. So remember when we were talking about the brain probe thing? And the reading of the thoughts.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, and I was like, I might try that if it wasn't whatever. And the more I thought about it, because I was listening to Glenn Beck talk about it, I'm like, no, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I retract my thoughts.
Oh,
I will not take any brain probings.
Good.
Because, I didn't
because
realize.
of Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
Mr. Mormon himself.
Yeah.
No, he's a false teacher and prophet.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
no, and he leads people right off the cliff.
Okay.
But I still listen to him, so I have an idea of where not to be.
Oh, that's a good thought.
And so
that's a good idea.
this is the thing. Actually, I should want the brain probe then because he was like, oh, that's not. But the thing that he brought to light was we were just talking about it in the context of it working our phones and helping us manipulate AI around us. And I still think that we're going to have to do something to augment ourselves to prepare for the coming AI hordes. Right. But I don't know that plugging ourselves into the internet, it actually would connect you to the internet. So once you're connected to the internet, then the internet is connected to you.
Right.
Eh,
That's why we need 5G.
Yeah. Oh no, 5G plays a big part in it.
5G is huge.
5G is going to be huge. I mean, it's going to at the same time we're reading our thoughts to go back on. It's going to give us cancer.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's going to cook us.
That's not good. It can't be healthy.
I could be tasty. I don't know.
I don't think it's healthy right now with 4G.
Could you imagine human bacon? Wow.
Human. It tastes like chicken.
Well, listen, Naomi is going to be with us next week. That's September 13th.
Do we have a Starbucks
Friday the
close by?
13th. She wants to know if we have a Starbucks close.
No, but we do have a Buckeye Chocolates.
We do have a Buckeye Chocolates, which has coffee. But if you really want Starbucks, we could run somewhere and get you some Starbucks and bring it back. Because for our special guests, we do that. So we're talking next Friday.
This is crazy talk.
Naomi, would you like, if you want a Starbucks, we'll have Starbucks here. You need to tell me what drink you want. And then you need to FaceTime me not FaceTime me, Facebook message me or something, because we're going to need to get you an address, and then we're going to need to get times nailed down so that you're here. So we make sure everything's together. And then
we're going to lose it. We're going to lose a subscriber after next week. You know,
we
this,
are.
right?
We're going to lose
when she finds out how hokey doke and unprofessional this is.
Yeah, well, you can't tell how hokey doke
out.
No, I know. It's a
mystery.
Look it up there. Look at us. We look like real pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks professional. So, Naomi said no. I was going to bring it to you.
Oh.
Well, in that case, I'll take a coffee frap with almond milk. That's it. No whipped cream.
Hold the coffee and the almond milk.
No,
Just water.
I want coffee. So coffee frap with almond milk.
Becky, there's a whole conversation going on that you're missing.
Becky's saying Buckeye Chocolates. I would disagree, Becky. Buckeye Chocolates is not better than Starbucks, but and yes,
she said no and no to looking like pros. Oh, stop it!
You don't think we look like pros, Becky?
I think we do.
Really? Well, I just want to say that because I do frequent Starbucks, I do not believe in the story of the siren. That's their logo. Just so you know.
The siren.
Yeah. You can look that up if you want, because maybe after you look that up, you may want to boycott Starbucks.
I want to boycott Starbucks just because their coffee's nasty.
But then you also could boycott Apple, because see that little bite that's taken out of the apple you really know that that's all about knowledge. That's the why the logo is like that, because the forbidden fruit in search of knowledge.
Because women are evil.
Well, it's because women are evil.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, so for a guy to have this,
Yeah,
is
No,
a
it's fine.
man- It's
Yeah.
a man's computer.
It's a man's computer.
nice. Well, that's it for Uneducated this week.
Yep, shutting it down.
We will. We'll be back next week, I guess.
Have a
Yep,
good
we'll see
week,
you then.
yo. You can see
Don't
that.
forget, man.
That's impressive.
Bye.
See everybody next week.
Maybe.
Maybe.